now. Pre-show.
That would be silent.
Nobody's gonna want to talk.
No, you gotta run and screw that noise.
I'm gonna lose my notes. Talk about it. Oh, sorry. You know it's a big day when I got show notes.
We have notes.
I actually researched
notes.
And if I go past Wikipedia, you know it's special. If I go like anywhere past Wikipedia.
I was just searching my memory banks.
Bing, 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 bing. Bing, bing, bing. Don't touch me there. Ah!
Thank you for bringing this delicious ham today.
It is good.
Hams is delicious.
Were we talking about hams? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I read an article, man, of all the old school brands, American old
Oh
school
man,
brands.
guess what?
This was voted number
on
one.
Saturday, at the Pabst test house, they have Andy Curry.
Pabst was second.
Really?
Andy Curry's pretty good.
I haven't seen that in ages.
Yeah, it was pretty
How'd
good.
that happen?
Well, again, it's they got their it's their test brewery or whatever, so they're doing all these like experimental things for Pabst, and
They're doing Andeker there, huh?
yeah, they're doing Andeker there.
Look at that. I haven't seen that.
It's good. It's fucking good. At the Pabst tap room, it's over right off like the Mark Interchange, a little northeast there. It's that like new.
Who's
a
responsible
beautiful building.
for
They
It's,
did a
holy
great
crap!
job.
Inside, it's amazing. Like it's just.
Yeah, I toured it a while
Who
back.
made Meisterbrow? Can we bring that back?
I've never heard.
They
of
still
it.
make Meisterbrow.
I just asked to bring back a beer that never left.
Never left. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I thought Meister Brown did go.
I think it left Wisconsin. I think maybe it's just in other markets. You know how like Milwaukee's Best used to be like in other markets, and then it came here
Yeah.
because you know.
I spelled Brown.
Let's move on to benefit.
BR8.
I know, right? Kind of terrifying, really. All right, let's flip this.
Let's flip the switch.
3, 2, 1, and live from the 6th subfloor basement of the Guys, Games, and Beer Tower. It's the podcast with the mostest. If what you're looking for the mostest is beer, it's Guys, Games, and Beer.
Yeah!
Oh, it's so special.
It is special.
Today is special.
Well, okay, so let's go ahead and bring up the Beer Court logo so we can start Beer Court because
Get ready.
tonight,
3,
2,
1.
we're going to be talking about going back to our happy place.
Dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Beer Court. So because tonight's episode is about going back to our happy place, we are going to be doing something from my buddies at Third Space Brewing. This is a new brewery in Milwaukee. It's been there for a little over a year now. I am going to say this right now. Gentlemen, you took my fucking happy space, okay? I parked out in front of your place for like 20 years, okay? And now it's
got
free
on the wrong
freaking hour
camera.
parking because you guys are gentrifying the crap out of the neighborhood. But you do make good beer just the same. So we are actually going to try some of your beer tonight. This is the first beer you've had on our Beer Court. If we give you a good review, can you make it so I can park again? All right. So this is a Milwaukee brewery. They're located near Marquette University. Down in also
Downtown
by
Milwaukee,
the
yeah.
they're also by the Potawatomi Bingo, the Harlem Museum, down in what's called the Valley there. They just opened up about a year ago. The brewmaster worked at Redlands for a while and then came back here and started up his own brewery, like I said, just a little over a year ago. And they've been taking off ever since. The place has been doing great business. All right, gentlemen, let's see what we got here. This is their Midwest Pale Ale.
We are so damn
what
good.
What do we think Midwest means?
So the whole time he's
Pale
holding up the
Ale.
beer, I got that camera on, right? So I go to catch the beer, and then so I switch cameras,
And you get the back of
and
my
I
head?
get the yeah, and you talking to that camera.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
All right.
Travis's.
Travis.
Well,
all right.
what do we think before we dive in? What do we think Midwest would mean? So, you know what a
I
pale
would say
ale is.
they're using a Midwest hop. Let's see if there's any
Bright
description.
hop aromas meet notes of citrus and tropical fruit in this supremely balanced hoppy pale ale.
I would say they're probably using a Midwest hop, though. So, again, remember, like if you're on the West Coast, you're normally using like Washington State hops, which tend to have that more piney taste to them.
Okay.
And then your Midwestern hops. There are regional hops, and the regional hops have a very specific taste. So I'm going to bet that's why it's a Midwest pale
And what do
ale.
you think? What do you think? You get more bite out of it, less bite out of it?
Less bite, more citrusy out of the Midwest ones.
Okay, all right. So
Again,
that's what
and
I'm
whereas
thinking.
it's surprisingly enough, ones from like Washington State tend to have that more piney taste to them.
Yeah, since they live next to a bunch of
I don't think that's the reason why.
Doesn't say specifically for this one, but a lot of their other beers do use Midwest hops. So.
Yeah.
It's almost straight to an IPA, really.
Well, it is an IPA. It's a Midwest Pale Ale versus Indian Pale Ale, but
Yeah.
it really is an IPA.
I guess a little mellower.
Yeah.
So.
You know, I hate to say, maybe it's because I had the gin and tonic. It's kind of bitter.
Really?
I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's particularly that bitter. And
Maybe
I
it's
think
a
you're
gin.
right.
I think it's.
Yeah, that you had a mixed drink beforehand. That
I don't know. For me, I mean, it's really just hitting the scale where it's like bitter, not bitter. Like it's really just
Right
that
on the
middle
end there.
point.
Like right on the very end.
Yeah.
I think maybe the last two IPAs were just so well done. I think they were just so tasty that they were. We had some good
this is
IPAs.
clean though. I don't taste anything like.
No, and they're right. It's got the
Astringent
citrusy
or
notes to it. You
anything
can
like
taste
that.
the citrusy notes. No astringent taste. It's very definitely on the front. You get that citrusy note.
Obviously I'm gonna have to drink.
It's a
lot
clean.
more,
It's a
but
clean
hold on
tasting
second.
beer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a solid.
It's gotta be the gin. It's hosing me.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's what's going on.
I always blame it on the gin.
I'm gonna just I'll just drink a little bit more of it.
Yeah. Just
Wait
drink
for it to
till you
come
clear your palate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Just keep going.
Let's keep going until it tastes right.
Um.
It still feels a little. I don't know.
You know
Maybe
what?
I got a bad one.
That's possible. Here, try mine.
Well, sometimes with smaller breweries, you end up with that where.
We've always talked about that. Small batch beers can be. You know.
Not really.
Okay.
I still got kind of in my.
So it's consistently the same.
Hey,
for
Vinci
you.
Gamer. How's it
Hey,
going?
Mr. Gamer. All right.
So what are you guys thinking about this one?
You know. Okay, so it's a good beer. Is it a great beer? No. It's just
Yeah.
you know, it's a middle of the road IPA.
There's not enough alcohol in it to overpower its kind of.
But the more I drink it, the more bitter on the end I get.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's just because I took huge gulps.
That's possible because now at the
So
back
drink it
on the back of my tongue.
like-
I'm wiping out the.
Oh,
beef
he's
sticks.
eating
Do
beef
we
sticks.
think this would help in a glass?
I don't think so. I don't think it'd do anything about that bitter taste. He's right. It's got a definitely. It's a building actually. The bitter is building as I drink it now.
How about let's put
Like
your
a
butt.
ghost pepper.
Come here. Larry, bend over a minute. Let's try this through your ass.
No, we're not doing it. Apparently, that's what the kids.
You
are
know,
doing
one
today,
damn
but-
time.
No, that's a myth.
Yeah, I was just gonna say nobody's doing that, Larry. Well, maybe a few
Well,
people.
it
Maybe a
was-
few people
It
we
was
know.
in the movie Shameless.
It does,
Okay.
it does
But-
have IBUs at 45, which isn't too high. Right?
No, and again, it's you know what? It's
And a
not.
factory.
It's not even like the hoppy bitterness I'm getting. It's a weird bitterness
It's
at
just
the
a-
end.
It's just a thing.
All right, guys.
All right.
Judgment.
All right.
I'm average.
I'm gonna go average too.
Yeah.
It's. I wouldn't run out and say, "Oh my God, this is the beer I have to
I
have."
don't think it's gonna help your parking situation.
No, so I guess I don't get my damn parking spot back.
Damn it.
You have to plug a meter every day?
No,
Oh.
no,
Oh, you just have to move your car.
no. There's other parking.
Oh.
The problem with working downtown
Yeah.
Milwaukee
Oh,
is
Yeah.
and Marquette has lots, but I ain't paying to park.
No.
You guys don't pay me enough to pay to park.
Welcome to Marquette Talk.
Yeah, so
Sorry. that sounds weird.
Never say
All
where you
All right.
Never say
Judge
where you
Rob, pass verdict on Third Space Brewing's Happy Place.
Charge 1, touching me in my happy place. Guilty. Charge.
Not quite touching you in the right spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, charge 2. I like that. Not quite touching it well enough. Also guilty. I sent this to YouTube drinking.
Yay! Okay, let's enthusiastic drinking on that one.
So much like today's topic, this is called Happy Place. but it's a little bittersweet for us. Much like
Oh!
Very good.
Very well done, Larry. Very well done.
much like our topic.
Much like our topic today.
Signed, Larry, the transition guy. Very good, Larry.
All right, Rob, what is the real topic
Segue.
tonight?
Today we're going to be talking about Toys R Us and their closure and their place in history. Yeah, anybody can sit there and talk about the physics behind it and what happened.
But nobody
That's
else can
for
do it
other
drunk.
podcasts. But only one podcast is going to get drunk and talk about what a great place it was for us. And it's us. But first, we'll start with a little bit of Toys R Us history. Just a little. I'm not going to go too far into it or try to be too deep. You know, they do have an internet for that. But I did mix a bunch of sources, including Toys R Us themselves and a history of Geoffrey, which I thought was kind of interesting.
That's kind of
got
a weird name
some
for it.
stuff that was, you know, just stuff you don't necessarily
No,
see
not
in
Joffrey.
Wikipedia.
Not Joffrey. Not a
Joffrey.
history of Joffrey.
No.
This one may have killed prostitutes, but not that we know about.
Kept it on the hush hush.
1948. There was a man who said, "Hooker bitches must die." No, that's
Okay, that is
That's
Joffrey.
not it.
It is the history
That's
of
not-
Joffrey.
that's not it. But anyway, this is. I'm trying to get a little bit of stuff that you won't necessarily see on its Wikipedia page. So this you probably will. This part, but still, the rest of it, more. Okay, founded in Washington D.C. in 1948 by Charles Lazarus. He was the son of a bicycle store owner of all things, and he was inspired actually by his uncle, who owned a baby furniture store, to open his own. And he opened a store called Children's Bargain Town.
Catch your name.
That
Yeah.
is a
Rolls
good
right off the
name.
tongue.
Yeah, 1948, yeah. Children's Bargain Town. Anyway, by 1950, people were requesting that he adds maybe some toys and stuff into his store because he was kind of a curated shop. He ran everything himself, basically, at that point. So by 1950, he started adding toys and other goodies for babies into the mix.
Selling them?
Yeah, I mean, when he stopped selling children,
You should
Bargain
The black
children
market
only
for
gets
You
you
have to
so
bundle in
far.
some toys.
the black market babies.
Hey, does this kid come with a toy?
Yeah.
Well, pet stores were doing that, you know, and you had to keep up with the pet stores. So, you know, by 1950, he started adding those in, and the company started growing.
You know what's sad about that?
God.
That idea.
Damn, my flow's getting fucked here. Go ahead.
I know.
He just needed to get to the history. He
all right.
just needed to get
Just
to the
letting
history.
it done.
Oh, by the
Go
way.
ahead.
Hi, Mike.
Go ahead.
Hey, Mike.
I will let it go.
All right. So anyway, notably though, one of the notables is that Children's Bargain Town had a mascot giraffe named Dr. Giraffe.
Ooh.
That's right. His slogan was Toys R Us, kind of a precursor to what
All
was
right.
going to happen.
That's interesting.
So he'd say Toys R Us, and then he'd help children. No, that was not in the description. And eventually,
But he
of course,
did.
that would become the brand name. No. Well, I mean, they can't sue us right now. They're in trouble.
Yeah, they can't afford the lawyers anymore, Rob.
No worries.
Come at me, G.
See, come on, Chapter 11,
All
bitches.
the money they made
You're
from us,
ours.
they could start back up.
You acknowledge the error and moved on. Okay, let's go.
So, by 1957, the brand name changed over to Toys R Us as the focus became increasingly toy-based. The store had also moved to a supermarket style of shopping, which is kind of interesting because that was kind of a revolution, that supermarket shopping, which means they had carts. Up until then, you didn't have carts in stores. You didn't roll around with a cart. You just shopped, you got a couple things, because
You
people
know
were
what?
poor as
You know
fuck.
what? There is
Grab one.
actually a fast. I watched a documentary on shopping carts, and I was the guy who invented them and tried to get them into stores had a hell of a time getting any stores to go, well, you know, you should buy these for your customer. And they're like, what? No.
And Toys R Us was an early adopter of this. And it helped them because, you know, people have to fill up their
Right,
cart.
well, that was their idea. Just fill up your cart.
Around this time, an employee nicknamed Dr. Giraffe Geoffrey, and the name kind of just stuck after that. So somebody at the store just started calling him Geoffrey, and then
Just
everybody
dropped
started
it.
calling him Geoffrey. Dr. Giraffe wasn't that great. I mean,
Yeah,
let's face the
yeah.
reality. They did slightly change the art at about that time, too. So the chain continued to grow until about 1998 when it started losing ground to Walmart and the other chain stores that became more competitive about that time started spreading out into toys better, especially around Christmas.
You would have thought that he got
started to
the bump spillover from the loss of KB about that.
You would think, right?
Yeah, but that's part
I
of
think
what
that's why.
No, but that's part of what killed KB was the
Nobody was shopping.
Walmarts and things like that.
It was so dead, they didn't even get one customer. How sad. I should have wrote that in. But by 2013, it stopped making a profit. And in September 2017, it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, sitting on about $5 billion in debt. Holy shit, can you imagine being $5 billion in debt? Doesn't that suck?
Actually, I can.
And,
But continue.
And announced the closing of some stores. Yeah. Yeah,
That's-
but not
that's where
all
you
those...
start to-
Not all those assault charges are going to go through, Tom. I mean, all those
Okay,
things.
good. I hope not.
That's when you start to
Wanna use
think
the lawyer?
about Trump saying that if you go $1 million in debt, that's on you. But if
No,
you
it's not
if you get
what
a
I
whole
call
bunch of
it.
other people to go billions in debt with you,
That's
Hey.
yeah.
it's not on you anymore.
By the beginning, true story though. By the beginning of March, they announced that all the stores were closing. How sad. And right now, there's several possible offers on the table. Some for saving the brand, some for liquidating it, some for just buying some stores, some for trying to just save the brand itself and rebooting it.
In a much smaller box.
In a much smaller box, yeah.
A
But there's
much
nothing
smaller
definite
box
at this
store.
time.
Well, I mean,
There's nothing that's definite other than the fact that their asses are grass.
I mean, I
Sad.
could see whereas if Toys R Us moved to, and I don't even know if you could do it anymore, or even if if you moved to sort of what KB's were, where they were more of a small box store.
Right,
And,
inside of
and
malls
the,
and
the
so
stuff
on.
is you carried all the Walmarts and the Targets and that.
But those aren't your main competitors. Now your main competitor is Amazon.
Well, and that's everybody's main competitor.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it is.
I mean, but if you think about okay, we still have game stores that are they're there, they're doing okay.
It's because of service.
There's game stores that are
And
opening.
environment.
And that's what I think like a Toys R Us could be. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
That's funny. Vidgamer just said that it's something that you said, which is
Yeah.
KB Toys is coming back.
Yeah, it's kind of funny the last few years and stuff. 'Cause it was a really turbulent ride for the chain because they were doing pretty well with sales of things like the Amiibos and Lego Dimensions and all the collectible crap. Those things people would flock to stores and buy those in droves.
Well, recently,
Yeah.
this last Christmas, that's where I bought Tiny Arcades.
Yeah.
Because none of the other stores had them.
Right.
You
Yeah.
could have got them on eBay.
They had a fair, decent. They had a fair.
Right,
They had a good
selection.
selection.
Right,
I
you
could
could-
walk in and go, yeah.
And take it off the shelf. Exactly. it.
They,
But
they
that's
had
I think
fairly
the same
decent
reason why they did
minifigs,
well
too,
with the Lego
at Toys R Us.
Dimensions and the other things is because you could go in, get it right away.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think that's enough to offset operating cost of a huge brick and mortar store or
Yeah.
location. with that
Well,
amount
and
of
they were
employees.
also, Kids R Us, and they had a clothing line.
Well, now that was
and
something
they
they
had-
bought back later on. There'd been Toys R Us throughout the 80s and 90s, and then in the late 90s, to try to get business back, they had Babies R Us, Kids R Us. They
Yeah.
went back
That
to
didn't last
they
very
went, but they went back to kind of their beginning where they were carrying furniture and stuff for
Yeah.
kids.
Kind of going back to the basic.
Yeah.
It's like they were having some kind of crisis of thought there, or crisis of
Well, and
what's
just
going on. But
my experience has been that it was always a really great store if you had your own children or nieces or nephews that were 6 or under. It was just the best
Yeah.
store,
they were late to get onto the internet. I know for a while, because I tried to get their web presence for a while. They were partnered with Amazon. Amazon actually owned their web presence.
Really?
Yeah, they were actually run through Amazon. And it
Now
was-
that makes good
that was
sense,
a-
actually.
It does, but it meant that
It doesn't-
they were
doesn't.
sucking off their money. And if
Yeah.
you look at their website now, it looks like damn amateur hour. It does.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but it does. It looks like.
Well-
you know who else has a bad website? Menards has a bad website.
Yeah, they have the worst website.
And these guys, yeah. But these guys give them kind of a runner.
But
I don't know if you
Menards
see the
has
Toys R Us
money and
website, but it looks
just
horrible.
No.
It looks like something I did in the
spend
90s.
Wow.
You're there now, aren't you? Laughing at it, aren't you? Aren't you, Travis?
Oh no, yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, I
You're looking at
I did
porn
look
again.
at it. Okay, all right, yeah.
All right, so I guess
Video games.
let's talk a little bit about our personal experiences with Toys R Us. Anybody want to go first on that?
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So my biggest one is like one of my best friends that I met wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Toys R Us. Period. Like my parents used to take me back in 5th, 6th grade. Used to do Pokemon League. That was in most of them in most cities were either on card shops or Toys R Us. Toys R Us is across the nation. And like again, after like Red and Blue came out, like Pokemon was fucking huge. Like
I don't remember them having tables and stuff. They had tables and stuff.
yeah,
set up
for a while they did it
Yeah.
in the aisles of the store.
Yeah.
And then they moved into like they moved back into the employee area after a while. After it got so big, so they had like the break room, and they just every Saturday.
Was that what happened to it? Because it was in the like video game area.
Yeah, they used to do it in the aisles.
So like you know like backroom stalker guys like eating sandwiches.
Yeah,
no, seriously, that was it, dude.
Yeah, but it was like right away in the morning. It was like 9, 10 a.m. And well, that's like
On Saturday mornings, yeah.
Yeah. So my parents would drive me every week, me and my sister. I go to Pokemon League because I really wanted to get badges and stuff and play the Pokemon trading card game. But I went with Ben one week, and legitimately there's this one kid who's being like super rambunctious and like
Wait a minute,
hopping around.
You can
bouncing,
guess which kid it is as
just
he's
bouncing on the
described him.
tables and all this stuff, and like the people who are running the event said, "Hey, dude, you need to calm down a little bit," you know, blah 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 blah.
We
blah.
love you, JJ.
And after like 2 times, Ben decided to grab because he was like jumped up on a table and was acting like a cowboy. He was like fucking like giddying, and then like fucking.
So it wasn't after a win though, right?
I don't know.
No, you didn't need a win for this
And
crap.
so Ben like
grabs
him by the leg and just rips him off the table. And like the people running the event kind of laughed because like they couldn't like physically harm a kid, but this other kid would do it. So but yeah, he kind of got checked then. But that was my first introduction to my friend JJ, and we're still friends now. And again, I like
Thanks to the head injury.
Yeah, calmed it down a little bit. But
you still occasionally have to rip him.
We hung out during Pokemon League, and then the next year I switched middle schools, and he ended up being at the school I was at, and we were friends ever since. So
That's
yeah,
a nice story.
you know, again, if it were,
See, now that's the kind of heartwarming crap that would happen at Toys R Us.
yeah, I get it. We wouldn't have been introduced initially, and then we not have been as close friends nearly.
I
in
got
one
cursed
of
by
the
an old
Toys R Us.
lady at Toys R Us. I don't even know what I did. It was the most terrifying moment of my life, though. I don't know why.
No, like a real curse?
Just suddenly thought of that.
No, wait a minute. I'm thinking like drag me to hell curse.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, she like, I don't know. She's only.
Come on!
That was really weird.
so
I think she
let's
must have
drag
been
me
to
to
bed
hell.
or something, and somebody decided to drag Grandma into the fucking video game aisle. I don't know, but most of the time, I have right there. Sorry, I'll shut up till it's my turn.
Continue.
It's your turn now.
The rest of them were good, though. I mean, it's kind of funny how all of a sudden, you know, that's a repressed memory right there. That's pretty bad. That explains a lot, really, about my personality, doesn't it? No, I think a lot of it was, like, the only time I played Sega Saturn up until, like, maybe 2013 or something was at there. I used to love to play,
I had nights on there all the time.
it was
They had
it
Sonic
was the
R.
racing one, Daytona.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Daytona's really good on the
I
Saturn.
used to love well, I still do love racing games, but I played Daytona on it. I thought that was the best damn game ever. And my parents are like, they're actually decent consumers. Nah, you should not get the game system. You should probably hold up on that. But I remember playing that. I remember how they used to have those little flip books. Like they wouldn't have like all the cartridges out for a while. What they'd have is like this flip system, so you could see the front and the back of the game, especially back in the Atari days.
Oh
into the
yeah,
Nintendo
and those like
days.
big acrylic
Right.
boxes.
Yeah, they were awesome, and you could just flip. You could just flip over, and you could see the back, and I don't know. It just felt like you were going through a curated gaming experience because you could just
felt
go
fancy as fuck.
right.
Yeah.
I saw the TurboGrafx handheld the first time there, and that was amazing. They had it forever. It just kills me because I think it was clearing out at like $30, but you never bought that shit. I did, however.
I'm gonna go to that when I get to my stories.
I did buy the TurboGrafx from there. I bought my TurboGrafx 16 with your brother, with Jim. We went to Illinois, and we ended up over at the Toys R Us over there. And they were clearing out on those things for next to nothing, so I brought one home. And if I wouldn't have brought that home, I would have believed what everybody else believed, which was that game system sucked. But I knew what nobody knew. That was a great game system. And if it weren't for Toys R Us clearing out stuff at ridiculous low prices, never would have played it.
Most still the only one.
Nowadays, it's worth a bunch, but it's kind of funny because I got all those games on clearance, and they're like worth. I looked and Parasol Stars is like.
Oh God.
Like $180 bucks now. I paid like $10 for that damn game, and like I had a lot of TurboGrafx stuff. I loved it. In fact, my wife, who we were dating, God, I had that for a while too, huh? Because my wife would get me TurboGrafx games for like presents and stuff. In fact, the one time she broke up with me because I didn't show up to pick her up, so I was probably hanging out with one of you boneheads. And she got mad. Ooh, she was mad. We broke up for like a couple weeks. I started dating somebody, and she started like giving me presents, like a video game. She knew how to get to me right away.
That's right, called brides, dude. It's called brides.
That, and she did threaten to kill the other girl. Publicly.
So
after she got out of jail,
Sounds
like we were just right back together again after that because she bought me those games even though she was in prison. So that was pretty cool. But no, really, she would, like buy games for me for like gifts, and I really like that about her. And she played.
She still does.
She played. Yeah, she still does regularly. She got me a giant Link, by the way.
Dope. Is it like a statue or?
Yeah. Well, he's an action figure.
Okay.
She calls him a doll because she's
Did she get the
being
sword?
mean right now.
AKA,
yeah, I got the sword.
AKA a doll.
You can blow me. I knew it. If I said I had it.
It's a 2 feet.
I think it's cool. Everyone else.
I put it in a pretty class. It's so cute. I mean, no, he's got a sword, dude.
That's right. He's got a sword.
I got that.
I know.
And I picked up.
She was on the phone for hours to get this sword.
You know where she got it from? Toys R Us, and it was missing a part, so we had to reorder it. I am not kidding you guys. She got it at Toys R Us, and it was missing a part, so we had to reorder it. It's on its way again, but I did have it like standing around for a couple of days because I loved it. I'll love it again when it comes.
Oh, swordless. I feel really bad for it.
He'll have his sword.
Nothing worse than missing your sword.
It is.
It is a really.
That's all.
There's a huge industry in
sword replacements.
Sword enhancement.
Sword enhancement.
Because if you all you have is a stick knife,
Yeah.
Joe is happy now. His sword is larger.
Link.
Bring your sheath, and I shall. All right, that is it. Tom, please get us off my story.
So really, when I was growing up, Toys R Us has existed since I think in the 50s it really became Toys R Us. And it really wasn't in this area until probably the late 60s, early 70s when they popped up in Milwaukee. I came from a very large, poor family. We did not go to Milwaukee to go to Toys R Us, okay? Literally, I did not set foot in Toys R Us until I...
No, they went for hookers.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
so sorry.
Say that, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money either.
Yeah.
So it was all the bottom of the barrel Zers.
Zers,
yeah.
I love Zers. Turnstile, right.
You could get, Toys R Us was kind of going pricey.
Oh, no. Back when they started out, that's it. I mean, that was a high-end toy store, effectively.
There was like regular stores.
Right.
There was
and then
Toys
the other
R
thing
Us
was,
and then Swimming Jerks.
So we're the next city down the line from where the nearest store was located. And it was a good 30, 40-mile drive to get to that toy store from Racine up to Toys R Us, so you didn't really make trips up there. So I didn't start going to Toys R Us until I was probably in my early 20s. And then, like Rob said, the thing was that they always had those damn clearances. Now, in my early 20s, I was a poor college kid. So guess what I was not buying clearance toys? And the shit they cleared out, and I think nowadays that I missed for those prices, and it's like, oh crap, if I would have known what I know now. I mean, okay, so one of the things you won't know, we all collect our Vectrexes. Literally, they were going for $50 when they were finally clearing them out of Toys R Us, and nowadays
Could have been your
This
retirement fund.
will be you, Travis.
Damn
This will be you.
straight, yeah.
You're like, Ah!
And so they were clearing out. And at the time, I had really kind of abandoned video games. This was when I had kind of gone full bore into computers. So it was like, I really don't need that. It's a video game system.
I'm really more into text now.
Well, no, I always thought the Vectrex was cool, but it had, at that time it maybe had 20 titles, and I had computers that played thousands of titles.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's, I mean, like when I grew up, that's why I didn't buy a lot of video game consoles because we had computers and they had just tons of games.
Right.
Like I didn't. My first console was a PlayStation when I was like almost 10.
Yeah.
I was like 9 or 10.
So on that clearance, was it a classic red pen scratch out with a new price?
Hell
yeah! Oh yeah!
Pencil by somebody who couldn't write in English, so you can debate about what the price really
At
meant.
Toys R Us, they did that all the time. So Toys R Us also was one of the first places that had
right.
that ticketing system where they had the little tickets. So all the video games were in a cabinet, and they had tickets that you took out of the front of the cabinet, and you would go up front, and they'd pull it from the back for you. Not that I didn't buy some things there, but I mean, like Rob said, they had. If there was a video game, they had it there, and they cleared it out at one point or another. Their clearances were always deep clearances. But
they carried a lot of weirder titles. Yeah.
yeah, they did. I mean, they had stuff that you couldn't get anywhere. It's like they had the TurboGrafx, which they were probably one of the only few stores that carried the damn
KB
TurboGrafx.
didn't do too
For
bad,
more
but
than a week.
Toys R Us's selection, and at least in the 90s when I was growing up,
Yeah.
was way better.
So,
Yeah.
but the whole thing is, so we didn't have a Toys R Us in Racine until like 84 or 85. So I want to say it was like 85 or 86 actually. But so I mean at that point I'm heading to my mid-20s before we had a Toys R Us close by. I mean, I ran up to Milwaukee occasionally to see what they had. I was kind of this is kind of cool. Oh, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. But so and the same thing, they get all sorts of video games and they deep discount them. They did delve into computers for a while.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they had certain.
There was Commodore games there.
Yeah, they had
for a
Commodore
while.
games there and stuff like that too. They also carried like the Atari computers and so on. They had a few of the other computers in there. They didn't stay.
Yeah, the 400 they had.
That's
in there,
right. But they didn't stay with the computers for long. They really they quickly found out that
Probably
was
wisely.
that was a tough market in the day. Even with the after the crash, that was always a tough market because you had a ton of other stores carrying them. I mean, Kmart carried the computers. Basically, all your stores carried the computers. So they really did kind of focus on the video game stuff. Like I said, my biggest regret is missing out on all those damn clearances. But I was broke. I mean, and yeah, you think, $50. Yeah, when you're a 20-something, going to college and basically working just to go to college, $50 was a lot of freaking money back then, even as clearance, and it was cheap. I mean, that was a great deal back then.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't have that $50 to spare, man. So
Didn't that suck?
And not more than $150 to like make it an investment.
yeah, exactly. There was just no way, man. There was just no way. So yeah.
This is where I always forget. What was out at that time again?
In what?
Vectrex days. Like what was
Well,
it?
that would have
Atari 5200.
5200. Okay.
5200 was
On 3 shelves.
Coleco.
In television and ColecoVision were still out. Intellivision wasn't doing as well, but the ColecoVision was still doing fairly well. The 2600 was still going at that point.
Until
I
1992.
think it was doing well.
Oh yeah, no, it was still
So in a way, you could still buy a game system that was doing well,
right. And again,
and not
Yeah.
buy one that's being like thrown to the dumpster.
and it was
Actually.
being thrown to the dumpster. No, it was. Remember this? At this point, there
So-
was no third-party games for it. So the 20-ish
Those are
titles.
probably Milton Bradley versions.
Right,
Anyway,
the 20-ish games that there were the only 20 games. You never, and at that point, you didn't have a homebrew community. For,
Yeah.
They had
for
kind
these.
of a-
So you were thinking, there's never going to be any more games for this. This is it.
Vectrex had a identity crisis too. I remember, like at Sears, they did carry it at Sears. It was sitting next to like computer equipment instead of in the general video game stuff. I don't think they knew how to market it. It was a brilliant idea even for its time, but I don't think people got it, and it was kind of expensive at the time too. As I recall, it was.
Sheldon.
Hey, Sheldon.
Hey, Sheldon.
Hey,
Dude.
hey,
Cheers.
hey.
Cheers. To. So yeah, no. So again, my experience with Toys R Us really are all in my adult years. And then, like you said, later on, I had you guys, and I took you guys to it.
That's like the best thing though, taking the kids to.
Well, and
Yes and no, because
yes, yes and no, exactly.
we're gonna want stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we went into Toys R Us, they were looking for shit.
Yeah.
I usually
So-
just put them in the cart and put this, put them a bag
Over their
his
head.
All right, how about you, Ryan?
For me, I think
Time out.
I kind of missed out somewhat on the Toys R Us experience because of the whole not being in Racine. So it's kind of like the whole just went to Shopko, Target, Zayres, whatever, and that was my game experiences. Probably more Shopko because I remember Shopko having the arcade and the
Oh, yeah,
computer
right next
store.
door.
Oh, that's
So
right,
it was
they
like,
did,
that was
didn't
like
they?
a good,
Has
a
the
place you could go one place
Oh,
to get to
best.
Shopko,
That's right.
junior high
the
experience
Commodore
ever.
experience, and the arcade all in that one spot. So
Yeah.
I think when I asked
You
my
ever
mom
tell
to
me
go
how much I
places
hate that Shopko?
in 1980 something or not?
Yeah,
You are
yeah.
Oh,
Because it destroyed the drive-in theater I watched Star
Oh.
Wars.
Turnstile.
Yeah.
But where Shopko was, there used to be a drive-in theater.
Yeah, there was Turnstile.
Where I first saw
and it was
Phantasm.
much further up, and then there was behind it was a drive-in theater.
Oh, great. Cool.
And a good
Oh, it
drive-in
was.
theater.
Yeah.
And I saw Star Wars
Okay,
there.
hyper-local and weird.
And
Yeah.
and then they
We're getting
destroyed it,
nostalgic,
and their
you know?
excuse for destroying it is they needed extra parking because so many people were going to come to Shopko. And you know what? That parking lot's empty now.
Okay, so the weird,
I'm still
besides
burned.
Phantasm, there, Herb Valachez, the guy who played Tattoo, was in this weird-ass horror movie. I can't even remember the name of it now. So I saw him in that movie and Phantasm at that particular drive-in. I agree. No, I'm going to give you a little tear on that.
You
'Cause
know,
actually,
as
no,
we're
I-
talking things that are being lost.
yeah, no, again, we used to go there. So, again, big poor family. We used to go there in the 60s. So, yeah, no, yeah. But that being said, I also saw a whole bunch of weird-ass movies at that particular
I
drive.
think I saw that. What was that stop animation one with all the freaking skeletons in it? What was that?
Evil Dead.
No.
That'd be Jason and the
Before that.
Argonauts.
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh,
Is that-
nice! Oh, that's a great movie.
You are the best, Larry.
Ray Harryhausen.
I have to keep
It's a
Larry with
Harryhausen
me
film, man.
at all freaking times.
Because he remembers Rob's life.
He does. He remembers my life better than I
All right.
Oh yeah, so
So getting back to what you were saying until
then,
we distracted you.
then I would say like I don't know, maybe once it showed up I went a couple times with parents and like you said, if it was there in the late 80s, I probably was past really wanting games because I think I had my computer, Commodore or Amiga at the time, and it was like I don't think I had an NES and the Super Nintendo, but I don't remember like where I ran out to get games for those. I don't remember looking for specific titles or
do. Your blaster.
and then once like 92 hit, I worked at a big box store that was a competitor, so there was no reason for me to go there because I'm not going to pay regular prices at their store
You have them sweet
when
ass
I already have a
discounts.
discount somewhere else. So, and then past that, then there really was no reason for me to go for a while. I would say then the reason I had to go was I had a kid, and then it was more like Babies R Us, not Games R Us for me. So.
You went to Babies R Us?
So I do remember the
Oh yeah, yours is
flip
the
card
other
thing you're talking about, the like looking at games and like
Oh, yeah.
reading the front, reading
That
the back.
is so
And then
good.
didn't you
Such
have
a
to
good idea.
like wait for a kid to get out of the way to like
Oh, always.
I just want to look at all the
Yeah, dude,
titles,
I
like,
just get on the. Yeah, some kids just
Or
kind
even
of.
worse, waiting for a demo kiosk, man.
Yeah, but
Demo-
I was a teenager by the time they resorted to those, so I just like knocked them away. And when their parents showed up, I acted like nothing was going on. They're crying. I don't know why your kid's crying. He fell over.
I
Tell
don't
the
have a
news.
lot of exciting Toys R Us memories. It was something I always wanted to ever seen, and I think by the time it made it here, it was a little too late maybe for me.
Well, and that was me too. I mean, I was too old at that point.
Yeah.
All right, Larry, how about you?
Well, for me, it's gonna. The thing that always struck me about Toys R Us is really gonna be like the selection was always a little off askew to where you normally went. Like, all right, you could buy Star Wars figures anywhere at the time, or you could buy Monopoly anywhere. But it was a lot harder to find Axis and Allies, or a lot harder. And so the board games are going to be where I'm going to be more focused on than the video game stuff.
I knew
Is
you'd
that
ruin it by doing that.
You could go. You guys are teasing me.
I gotcha! I freaking gotcha! Gotcha.
You know, and so, like, for example, there was a game that came out maybe 90 or something goes that Battle Masters, and Milton Bradley game. Again, it was kind of hinging off of Hero Quest and those kinds of games, and you could buy them there. And most of the other sort of retails, like the Targets and stuff, didn't carry that kind of. They used to have the space. They didn't have the space for that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't think Dungeon was anywhere but Toys R Us at that time.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Or my favorite, which I own to this day, Crossbows and Catapults came from Toys R Us. You know, and that was another.
Oh, no, that's interesting. You're right. They actually, from a selection of board games and so on, I think they had a much better selection.
They had the best, giantest wall of board games.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I didn't
half
have
of it was
that.
on clearance at all given times.
That too.
I was there even this Christmas. They still had the most impressive wall of board games.
It's the 1984 edition of The Simpsons. Simpsons Life Game of Life board game. Holy crap! It's on clearance for $1.
And if I get a four stuff, I usually buy there. Like so, and it was like a few years back. You know, I wanted to buy a board game for my nephew, and it was like, all right, I'm not going anywhere else. I'm not messing around. I'm going to Toys R Us, where I know I can get a neat board game. And I got one. It was like this weird 3D treasure hunt thing, you know, and it was just like a mummy 3D thing. I don't remember the specific name of it, but it was a cool game. It was a really cool game, and it was just like, but there was no other stores that were carrying anything like that, you know. And like you said, Pokemon is so, you know, it's not like you went to a Pokemon tournament at Target, you know what I mean?
No.
You know, I mean,
In fact, nobody had toys for it except for them for a long time.
And for a long time, nobody else even carried cards, you know. I mean.
It's kind of an interesting piece because, like, I mean, since it was such a huge brick and mortar store that was devoted just to toys, like, they had the room to carry a lot of options that other stores only reserved, you know, a handful of rows for. You know, again, I remember growing up, again, it was really great during the early internet, pre-internet era, like, seeing all these Lego sets that you just wouldn't see in other places. Again, they'd have maybe, like, one display, like Lego at Target, and you go to Toys R Us, and you got multiple rows of just everything you can imagine.
Cases! Remember they used to have the displays in a little
the
glass
pre-built
case?
things?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
like,
awesome.
And, like, it's an experience you just couldn't get anywhere else at the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just the selection was so much better. Yeah, maybe you could get Axis and Allies at Target, but you couldn't get Fortress America or I forget the Roman game now, but there was a Roman Empire. You couldn't get that there, but Toys R Us would have all of them.
Right.
You know?
One of our watches right now is also talking about, like, figures and so on. G.I. Joe, Transformers.
Oh yeah, G.I. Joe.
Thundercats.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
you could usually get the super popular stuff, like, sort of anywhere, but you had to go to Toys R Us if you want. And this, I think, would be kind of like maybe something you could appreciate, Tom. It's like, where would you get, like, a kid's chemistry set?
Yeah. Thank you.
You ain't finding that at Target. You had to go to Toys R Us for that.
If you wanted a better one, yeah. You know, and you're right. So for, like, science things, you know, whether it's microscopes or so on, Toys R Us actually carried a good selection of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you'd have one of those at maybe a Target or
Right.
something like that, but you'd have like 30 of them at a
Toys R Us.
You know, it was so great that way.
Yeah. I see even freaking color forms and crappy stuff like that. They had like 42 different types of, where you go over to Target, you know, or you go to Shopko, there'd be like the one or two major ones, but
Yeah.
you know, you'd have like the 80s cartoon classics color forms.
Right.
And seriously, like everything that you were watching, you know, was like right there. Ah, man.
You know, I'm not
start
trying
crying.
to hate
Yeah,
on
no, now I'm getting a little feels going here, man. A little feels going here.
not trying to hate on like Target or any of that stuff, because you know, I mean, they had their space, and you know, and it wasn't devoted to the one thing. Where and you know, for me, and like I said, I already said, like when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of cash. You know, was like, but just going in there was just like dreaming.
Yeah.
You know, you could look at the covers and you could look at these items and look at all this different stuff that was so different than most of the stuff you saw all the time. And it was just like, it was just so cool to just even see it, you know?
Yeah, George said the same thing. How about the slips under the video games? Remember the whole,
Oh, that's funny. We were just talking about
we talked
that.
about that earlier because that was kind of.
Oh yeah, no,
that was kind of the
remember because
experience.
part of it was you'd pull the little slip for the toy. Oh
Right,
man, and
right,
how
if it
pissed
wasn't
you
there.
would be when you pulled the slip. It was like the last slip, and the damn game wasn't there.
Right. Our inventory must be wrong. What do you mean your inventory's wrong? You had the damn slip. I've got the slip in my hand. You have to have one.
Well, and the slips a lot of times were, and they also had when I got older, and I could splurge on my kid, and I bought like
slips.
bigger stuff like the like those rideable toys and stuff like that, like the rideable cars and stuff like that. You know, they would be a slip. You know.
Oh, that was like the badge of honor. If you had the slip, you had like the best stuff in there. I don't know why they got rid of some of that stuff because it was like the stuff that really made them great. It was the things that really made them unique and made that experience something you wanted to do. I think I found like later now they got games sitting in a stupid case, and they don't have any clearance games so far as I saw last time I was there. It's just not the same experience.
All right,
yeah, brother.
Okay, so I think
was good.
I think that was a good remembrance of a Toys R Us. So Toys R Us, we're gonna miss you. Honestly, you served your place in the community. Hopefully, somebody will pick up the chain and keep parts of it alive. It would be a shame to lose something like that. I understand in today's market, it's not easy to do that. I think what they need to do is what a lot of the small shops are doing. Focus on very specialized items, things that you can get on Amazon, but you know something? It's just not the same. There's a reason why people don't buy.
Something that needs this is where I think like, you know, a board game store or a train store or some of those kinds of things can still exist because you can go in and have a conversation with somebody about it, and you'd have to be very careful that the people that work there are either trained or already know a lot about that subject.
Right, which is a problem with a big box store in general. And that's why other big box stores are failing as well, because it's hard for them to know all the subjects. You know, if I'm working in big box stores that sell everything from washing machines to TVs, it's hard to specialize in any of that. I'm supposed to have a general knowledge of all of it, and that's very difficult to do. Whereas if I go to a place that specializes only in car stereos, then, you know, they're probably going to know their car stereos fairly well. You know, and that's why car stereo places still exist. You know, TV shops, that's a little bit more different. But even that, there are still TV shops to this day because they know just TVs. So, you know, there might be a place for a certain toy store that finds just that. Now, that brings up the point. Somebody was saying, and we've talked about this earlier, that KB Toys looks like they might be trying to make a comeback.
As a brand, I would assume, because someone would have bought the brand, I assume.
I assume somebody bought the rights to the name and so on. So KB Toys was a small version of Toys R Us. They started. KB Toys, I want to say, got started in the 70s.
A perverted nutcracker?
We had a KB Toys before we had a Toys R Us, and KB Toys was always.
I love that place too.
KB Toys was founded in 1922.
1922?
As a candy store.
Wow.
By the Kaufman Brothers.
Wow.
So,
KB. Oh, look at that.
Kaufman Brothers.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So then they
And
basically.
eventually they dropped the candy name and inserted toys.
Yeah, it's the second oldest operating toy retailer in North America behind FAO Schwartz.
Wow.
So they're older.
That's
than
freaking awesome, actually.
So they probably exist. They obviously still have stores. They didn't shutter all stores.
No, KB was gone.
No, they shuttered all stores. There's
shuttered
no
all.
such thing as KB Toys anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They did a full.
Yeah, they did a full shutdown.
Yeah, 2009
maybe
was this foreclosure.
It'd be kind of cool if they did a reboot. They were a smaller store, and the nice thing about smaller stores, you can specialize a little bit more. Yeah. So you can really focus on the odd toys, the weird things. KB Toys always did a good job on that, anyways. Besides, they were a little bit. We had this discussion earlier. KB Toys was a little bit creepy in certain ways. Okay, you know something? Hiring pedophiles.
Narrow back aisles, like no parents can see you.
And hiring pedophiles to work at your toy store, probably not a good idea. Okay.
Yes, but yet some creepy old man there who wants you to sit on his lap.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
No, actually, I like KB Toys because I always got free stuff there. Oh.
Whoa!
Now that's what I always found good, decent discounts on video games.
Again, yeah, but so they had video games, but they did not really focus on
No,
video
it
games.
was just what was
Their
behind
Atari
the
collections
counter.
were pretty good.
Yeah,
theirs was all behind the counter, right?
right,
Yeah.
right. They
And
did.
you're like,
Yeah, thank you, exactly.
staring,
All right.
like, can you
I got
move?
something going
Okay,
on.
but before we do that, why don't we close the show out? 'Cause
Well,
we-
so, no, I
Now we gotta
have
close
a
it.
closed thing too.
You
have a
just
what?
talked about
I
it.
have a closed thing. No, it's a different.
Okay, well, let's start with your
Let's start
close
hitting
thing
doing
then.
it first.
Let's
Yeah,
do
we
it.
gotta
well-
start getting going. We got something going on the
Yeah.
floor that needs to be taken care of, obviously.
All right. So before the show got started, and because this is a show kind of about dead things, someone Rob had said, "Boy, God, I wish Meisterbrow had come back."
Oh crap!
And so here's what I'd like to tell you about that. All right. So
Oh, this is good information.
This is not technically a dead brand. It's a zombie brand because
It's owned by the Chinese.
This is actually the recipe that was okay. So the Miller Brewery started a crazy competition right with Meisterbrow Light from Chicago. Well, that didn't last long because by the 70s, Miller bought the rights to Meisterbrow and turned it into light beer, L-I-T.
I think it was their light version there.
Oh, so Meisterbrow
Meisterbrow
Light
Light
became
Miller
Light.
Light.
Oh,
Miller Light.
So
that explains volume.
there you go. So you can
That's
enjoy,
not real Meisterbrow, though.
You can enjoy that zombie beer.
That ain't right.
They should have killed it again if that's what it turned out to be. Holy shit!
I for a long time thought it was Stroh's Light, and I was wrong on that.
Mhm.
It was Meisterbrow Light,
That became
and
Miller Lite.
that became Miller, and Miller basically killed the entire rest of the brand.
Okay, and they just left that alive.
And they left that alive, and
Dang.
so- but good news is, you can buy Stroh's Light. So
Yeah. Good news. That's
Well,
stretching
thank
the
damn
one.
God.
That is stretching the thing of good news. All right. So, Rob, where are we going to be this weekend?
We're gonna be in Not Your Parents' Basement. And what's the address, Tom?
The address is 410 Main Street. So 410 Main Street. You go around the back of the building. This is a hyper local. Shout out to all our Racine peeps. If you are in
Southeast Wisconsin.
if you
you're
are in,
within 150 miles,
you should be here.
you should come this weekend.
So we are actually going to be previewing some of the stuff we're going to be bringing to the Midwest Gaming Classic, which is less than a month away.
It's crazy.
I know, it's crazy. So less than a month away, we're going to be at Midwest Gaming Classic, but this weekend we're going to do a little preview of that at Not Your Parents' Basement in Racine, Wisconsin. 410 Main Street. It's a really cool little gaming place. I shouldn't say little. It's actually
It's a pretty big space.
it's a pretty damn good
Pretty big
space.
They got some other things happening.
Yeah.
They've got very high-end rigs.
Yeah.
So,
But
Lance,
you know,
Lance,
so
we
they
are
have
doing
lots
their
of
first
things.
retro night. This is the first retro gaming night they've ever had there. Guys, Games and Beer is going to roll out some gear, and we are going to be there from 4 till 10 on Saturday. That's the 24th of God,
March.
Thank you.
And remember, it's
March
us. I don't even know what camera anymore. But it's us. It's us.
I'm looking at that
and
camera, and this
we're-
camera's
I don't even know what camera it is.
We're guys, games, and beer. So it's us. So
There'd be a beer somewhere.
just saying.
There might be beer someplace.
There might be.
Not in the big-
But it's not allowed in Not Your Parents' Basement, so we definitely won't have it there. It may be stashed Easter Bunny-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Easter Bunny's hiding some eggs early for us.
Yeah.
All right. So we will be at Not Your Parents' Basement on March 24th. That's this Saturday night, 4 till 10 p.m. Definitely come check us out. Hang around with us. We're going to have games from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
And 2000s.
Early 2000s.
We cut it off in
GameCube
2001.
The GameCube's 2000.
You should go-
No, GameCube. I'm sorry. Yeah, the GameCube's 2000.
Yeah, we cut it off.
Oh,
in
PlayStation
2001.
2000.
It's 2001, but like the games that came out were like
Yeah, I know,
2004.
We're not
Yeah.
doing it
Yeah. Now you're getting technical on us. Now you're getting
I'm
technical.
sorry.
So it'll be
All right,
2001.
but-
NAB.
That
That we
being
sold
said-
it as 70s, 80s, 90s, and shooting games.
Right.
So the shooting games are allowed to go
It's
past.
mostly retro.
Right. It's a very retro game. Now the next thing to remember is that April 14th and 15th. 13th if you got VIG tickets. We are going to be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, at the Wisconsin Center, doing the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Yay.
If you didn't get a VIG, Travis, are there any VIG tickets left?
There were as of like a week ago. They're low on tickets.
Oh,
so.
If you didn't get your VIG ticket, you better get it now. Here's the reason why. Not only are we going to have a special gamers lounge set up on Friday night for VIG players, Brian from Lords of the Trident is going to be doing live video game themes all night long in our room. Oh my God, it's going to be freaking awesome.
Until he passes out. So we will have a video game lounge. Also, if you get a VIG ticket and you're in our room VIG night, you will get first crack at something very, very special. A one-of-a-kind video game system that is going to be at Midwest Gaming Classic that we are working on. Hopefully by this weekend we may leak a little bit more information about it. But VIG people will get first crack at this system. All right?
Passing out,
Right.
something you're good at.
Can I give my description?
Right.
Yes!
My description is it's one of the greatest retro game video systems that never existed.
That is 40 years in the making, man. 40 years in the making. All right? All right, Rob, take us out.
We've been working on it about that one. No.
Yeah, no, seriously. That's how long it's taken us to put it together.
All right, well, thank you very much for watching Guys, Games, and Beer. Of course, you can check us out at www.guysgamesandbeer.net. If you are interested in hearing the banter during the week of the Guys, Games, and Beer crew, you can, of course, check us out at www.facebook.com/guysgamesandbeer. If you like free games, who the hell doesn't like free games?
Okay, I gotta cut it. I have not given away a game in the last 3 weeks. So guess what I'm doing tomorrow?
2 games?
Sticking a finger up your
Thank
ass
you.
and not doing a damn thing.
2 free games tomorrow.
Oh.
I will give away 2 free games tomorrow on Twitch. On Twitter.
At Guys Games Beer. We're not doing jack on Twitch.
No, Twitch, you guys suck.
Oh, God.
Continue, Rob.
And you wonder why we don't have Twitch listeners. You wonder why Twitch is not our...
Because Twitch is all about things I don't want to repeat anywhere in the real world. Thank you. Twitch is basically the what was it, chat roulette?
I guess.
They're kind of the chat roulette.
It's kind of like the chat.
Well, at least our chat roulette.
Chat roulette of the podcast world.
Somebody said I'm here.
I told you.
Yes. Nice. Admiral Trap gets a big old thumbs up from me.
You do. You got a big thumbs up on that one, dude. That was perfect.
Nice timing. All right. Well, that is about it.
Wait.
Thank you.
I'm going to throw a plug in.
Quick, throw a plug in. Throw a plug in.
If you're a racing fan and you like live racing, you should check out LionHeartRacingSeries.com.
When's their first season race?
They've already had it.
Yeah.
They already had it.
The next one I saw was March 28th.
Okay.
March
I don't know
28th.
the time.
So we are doing the show the March 24th, but March 28th, if you want to watch some amazing stuff, honestly,
It is neat to watch.
no, it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it is really it's video games. So you're seeing video game
Kinda hard to
racing,
tell,
but
honestly.
I mean, it's they have commentators.
Yeah.
They
No.
all the race
I'm
cars
sorry, it-
have an actual person.
if you
driving
want
them.
to watch,
I mean, it is really amazing.
it's hard to tell from real racing. I mean, it is so
Pretty
spot on. The announcers are amazing. I mean, their color commentary is, holy crap, dudes. You guys really should be announcing real races because you're better than most of the real race announcers I've listened to.
That is absolutely true.
No,
they
they're-
actually talk it up a little bit better.
They do. They are
Yeah,
so
I
much
like
better
that.
than real race color commentators. So again, that's the 28th will be their next race, and the site again, Larry, is
www.lionheartracingseries.com.
you got to check them out. They are an amazing
Yes.
group.
If you're on our Facebook, we're linked up to them. They're part of our friends list. So don't forget to check
All
them
right.
out there.
Take
Thanks
us out, Rob.
for watching, though I wonder why you do. Oh, I like this
Bye,
episode.
guys.
I'll see you guys next week.
Oh.
Wait.
Well, nothing.
Oh, nothing. Never mind. Go.
Wait, let's come up with one more damn thing to say.
No, we're done. We're done.
Like, wait, what more
We out?
Scene.
Nope. There.
Oh, we out! Yeah!
Roll.
Good show.
We made
Actually,
it to
that was
that.
a really good show tonight.
That was pretty good. Good times.
Almost bring a tear to the eye.
It did bring a tear to mine.
A little bit.
You're cracking me up today. You're just killing me. I can't look at you during intros anymore. By the way, Larry. I love you,
But no,
but I'll just start busting up. That's all I'm gonna. Yeah, and now you do like this look like. You gonna laugh? You think I have?
All right, so is there any business we gotta talk about? So
Okay, so yeah, actually, let's go over. So,
shirts
again,
are gonna be in the end of the week.